That night, as the moon rose pale and broken behind the baobab trees, a strange quiet swept over the village of Nyanda. The wind stopped rustling through the tall grass, and even the frogs by the river fell silent. Only the sound of the drums from the distant hills echoed, slow, steady, like a heartbeat fading into darkness. Ayo couldn't sleep. He sat by the dying fire, watching the last embers crackle like tiny spirits trying to escape. His grandmother's words replayed in his mind, "Never follow the sound of laughter after midnight. It belongs to those who have no souls left to lose." But that was before the laughter had started, before the curse had chosen him. It began subtly with whispers. At dawn, the women who went to fetch water said they heard a child crying by the riverbank. But when they searched, they found only footprints, small, wet, and leading into the reeds. The men dismissed it as imagination, but that evening, goats were found dead in their pens, their bodies cold but untouched, as though something had drawn their very life away. Then came the dreams. People began waking up screaming, saying they saw figures standing at their doors, pale outlines of faces they once knew, faces that belonged to the dead. Before all this, Nyanda had been a peaceful place. The mornings were filled with song, the smell of roasted maize, and the laughter of children chasing goats through dusty paths. Ayo was one of them, curious, bright, always dreaming of what lay beyond the hills. Life was simple, until the stories became real. One night, as the sun bled into the horizon, the villagers gathered around a fire. Elder Nanny, her hair silver and her voice like rustling leaves, spoke of the old days, of the cursed mango tree that once drank the blood of the guilty. "Never touch what grows where the spirits sleep," she warned. But curiosity burns hotter than fear, and Ayo listened more closely than most. A few days later, while playing near the edge of the village, Ayo found the tree. Its roots spread wide and deep like veins. Beneath them, half buried in red soil, lay a small clay mask. It was cracked, yet beautiful, painted with faded symbols that shimmered under sunlight. He smiled and slipped it into his pouch. He thought it was a gift from the ancestors. That was the beginning of the end. That night, as he lay in his hut, the rain began to fall. Ayo dreamed of laughter echoing from far away. When lightning struck, the mask on his shelf seemed to blink, its cracks glowing faintly. Outside, the wind moaned through the grass, and something moved in the shadows. The next morning, dread crept into Nyanda. The women whispered of strange footprints near the river. Men found their livestock dead but unmarked. Elder Nini burned herbs, muttering ancient prayers, while others spoke of old debts returning. Ayo stood apart, clutching his pouch. Guilt itched beneath his skin. Days later, unable to bear it any longer, Ayo set out to return the mask. The forest was thick and damp, the air heavy as breath. He followed the path to the mango tree, but it was different now. The shadows bent in ways they shouldn't. Laughter fluttered behind him like wings. When he reached the clearing, the tree was alive. Its bark rippled, pulsing like muscle. From its branches hung shapes that might once have been human. Ayo's breath caught as he stepped closer. Then from deep inside the tree came a sound. His name, whispered softly, lovingly. She emerged from the trunk like smoke. A woman, yet not human. Her skin was dry and cracked like clay, her eyes glowing gold, her voice smooth as honey and sharp as glass. Around her neck hung a chain of mango seeds. "You took what was mine," she said. "Now you must give back what is yours." Ayo dropped to his knees, clutching his grandmother's necklace. The spirits circled him, their chant rising like a storm. "I didn't know," he cried. The woman leaned close, her breath cold against his cheek. "Ignorance," she whispered, "is still a promise broken." The air exploded in red light and everything went silent. When morning came, the mist had lifted. The villagers stepped cautiously into the light, their eyes hollow but alive. The forest beyond the fields was silent again. Only Elder Nene stood at the edge, her lips whispering a prayer for the boy who had wandered too far into the old world. When morning came, the mist had lifted. The villagers stepped cautiously into the light, their eyes hollow but alive. The forest beyond the fields was silent again. Only Elder Nini stood at the edge, her lips whispering a prayer for the boy who had wandered too far into the old world. From that day on, no one went near the tree. But sometimes, when the wind blew through the valley, you could still hear laughter, soft, playful, and far too human. And if you listened closely, you could almost hear Io's voice whisper, "Some debts never die. They only wait to be remembered."